Hi everybody, welcome to IT Academy. Today we learn about front-end development. Let's begin. Did you know how to create a visually stunning and user-friendly website? It all starts with mastering the art of front-end development. Today we dive into an essential aspect of this discipline, creating responsive web designs using CSS Grid. Let's start this journey together. Firstly, understand that CSS Grid is a two-dimensional layout system. It provides a fantastic way to create website layouts easily and efficiently. Begin by setting up your HTML structure. Consider this structure as the skeleton of your website. It's essential to have a clear understanding of the sections your site will have. Typically, a simple website might include a header, main content area, and a footer. Now let's move on to the CSS file. To apply CSS Grid to the website layout, select the container you want to apply the grid to. This could be the body of your website or a specific section. Use the display property and set its value to grid. This tells the browser that the children of that container will become grid items. Next, define the grid template. The grid template columns and grid template rows properties allow you to specify the number and sizes of the rows and columns. For instance, if you want 3 columns of equal width, you would write grid template columns. 1 for 1 for 1 for. The FR unit represents a fraction of the available space. But what if you want your columns to adjust based on the viewport size? That's where media queries come to the rescue. Media queries allow you to apply different styles for different browser sizes. So, for a smaller screen, you might want to stack your columns vertically instead of horizontally. The grid column and grid row properties can then be used to control the size and position of individual grid items. The value you set for these properties determines where the grid item will start and end. Finally, make use of the gap property, formerly known as grid gap, to set the spacing between your grid items. This property can take 1 or 2 values. The first value sets the row gap, and the second value sets the column gap. So, what have we learned today? We've discovered how to structure our HTML for a grid layout. We've understood how to activate the CSS grid on a container and how to define our grid template. We've learned how to adjust our layout based on the viewport size using media queries. We've also seen how to control the size and position of individual grid items and set the spacing between them with the gap property. Mastering CSS Grid is not an overnight process, but with practice and patience, you'll be creating responsive, user-friendly web designs in no time. Remember, front-end development is not just about writing code, it's about crafting an enjoyable user experience. So, keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Thanks for joining today. Tomorrow we learn about back-end development. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.